everyone, I'm Jodi, the CEO of Prolong Lash, and welcome to our video today, our YouTube video. And I'm here with Alicia.
Hello, how you going?
Good, not too bad at all today, actually. Having a good day, except I spilled something on my shirt. That's okay.
I don't think
I'll
anyone
look it up.
can see it.
Yeah.
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes, don't look.
What do we want to talk about today?
Today we are talking about lash artists, educating about aftercare and lash extensions.
Yeah, some good tips for lash artists on how to educate.
Yes, because that's what you're there for. You're there. Your clients only walk away with from the experience with the experience as much as you offer them.
Yeah. So the knowledge that they get from you may be the only knowledge they get. You need to think about your client. When they walk into your salon, they probably know nothing about lashes. They probably don't need to know anything about lashes because they've come to you to get them done. So you can't expect a client to be walking in and saying, oh, I want a C curl in a size 12 and brush and volume and blah, blah, blah. You need to give them all the education and all the tools to learn this through your session together. So
You've got a lot of time with them too, to spend some time talking about not just the lashes, how they're working, the mapping, how it's going to make them look. Then it's when you go into your aftercare and how you keep them, how you retain them longer, how you extend their life, and how you make them look as beautiful as when they leave.
Yeah,
for the whole time.
I know there's a lot of misinformation out there on the internet about how to care for lashes and just about lashes in general. So you really don't want to be sending your clients out without information and then them going and starting to Google things and just guessing, because they might end up doing the wrong thing. And then that affects you as much as it affects them, because if all their lashes fall out, they're going to go and give you a bad review.
Exactly. And that gives the lash industry a bad review. This was a really hot topic the other day that was being discussed at a conference I was at. The educators are trying to really hone in on the fact that if bad jobs are out there, if wrong pricing's out there, if anything's out there that could affect affect just the client walking out, it affects the industry, it affects everyone in it. So it's your role to educate.
Yeah.
It's your role to be on top of those things. And also, you don't want someone walking out of your salon and turning around 2 weeks later, someone saying, "Oh, don't go to that person." I mean, that's all that work you've had, all that time you've had, and you've just lost a client and probably 10 more, because word of mouth is the strongest thing that you don't need out there being talked about.
And people will listen to a bad review far faster than they'll listen to a good review. So
Unfortunately. And also, you think about it from an outsider, so to speak, as as someone that's not a lash artist. I go into community groups. I'm very involved in a lot of community groups because I like to see what people are talking about. And lash artists are confused. So think about your customer, think about your client. If trained lash artists are asking each other, "Oh, what do you think? And this didn't work, and how do I do this?" Imagine someone like me comes to get their lashes for the first time. I have no idea.
mm-hmm.
So I'm relying on Alicia to tell me everything.
As a client, you shouldn't have to know all the information about it. You should be able to be given a toolkit from your lash artist of what you do and the bare basics of what you need to know. You know, you don't need to know every single thing about curls and what lashes are using and what your glue is. Unless someone's particularly interested and they really want to know, and they might ask you these questions. You do have the clients that just want to know, which is cool too, and you can share as much information as you can. But you just need to be teaching them, how are you going to communicate to me what lashes you want? And you should have tools to do that, like photos, mapping on your wall, questions that you ask to try to get an idea of what length they're looking for, what style they're looking for. And then you need to provide them with that toolkit, not just the physical tools such as Prolong Lash Cleanser, but also the aftercare facts. How are they going to look after them when they go home? How are they going to remember all these things? Are you giving them a card with the information on there? So that's just a crucial part of your job.
But even before you get there, I remember the first time I had my lash extensions done with you. You preempted me to think about it before I got in there. You sent me images. You made me look at things. You made me study first before I even got in there, because I knew nothing about lashes. So I think it's important that it starts before the journey starts on your website. The explanation, how much content you have on your website. You know, should someone know a little bit about lashes, Alicia, before they come in? Should they know a little bit about what they want? Because I know when you get hair haircut, you know you've got a picture. How many times now you don't have a picture?
Yeah.
So I think with lashes, I think you were very good that you told me the journey started before I even got there.
Hmm. Yeah, and you often can't even book a client in without them having some basic knowledge because you're like, do you want to book for classic lashes or Russian volume or mega volume or whatever service you offer? What do you want? Because that's going to take a different amount of time. So that will be a different booking. And then you also need to tell people how much it's going to cost them to come to see you before they make a booking. So you do need to provide that education before they arrive. And your website and booking site's a good way to do that, to give photos and information about the different sets and what that means and what they look like. But also your Instagram page, that can be a bit more consistent. You can continually post and say, this is a classic set, this is a Russian set that one of my clients had. Look how great it looks. This costs, $195 or whatever the price is. And just be always putting that information out there in the world for people to absorb it without feeling overwhelmed when they go to book.
Yeah, because it is overwhelming when someone asks you, what do you want? Whether it's a haircut or whether it's eyelashes. People like myself aren't that good. I mean, I know skincare is the same thing, and what color do you wear? What foundation do you wear? Do you wear matte? Do you wear this? I have no idea. So I want that person to be saying to me, this is your type of skin. I think you should be doing this. So yeah, I think being an educator from the word go, from the second that person shows an interest, however that comes across, whether it's through advertising, whether it's through your website, you need to be, I think personally, I wanted to be spoilt from the day. I wanted to be pampered. I wanted this to be my journey, and I want you to tell me what I need to do, what will look good on me, and how do I care for that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's it. There we go. So one thing that did come to mind one thing that you really reiterated with me when I went to you was aftercare routine and things that I didn't need to hear. Some things I didn't need to hear. Some things I can't get out of my head. The lash mites.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say lash mites. They're my favourite.
It's so important. How do you educate your clients that it's so important to have aftercare?
Yeah, so I always have this theory that it's kind of good to scare them a little bit. Like, don't freak people out and then they're like scared to get lashes. But like a little bit of fear can sometimes really help with getting people to commit to their lash cleansing. So if you let them know that it's super important to wash your lashes, because if you don't, you get things build up in them all day. I say it over and over again, eyelashes are filters. They collect all the things throughout the day to stop them from getting in your eyes. That's their job. When you have eyelash extensions on, there's just more filter there to catch more stuff. So if you're letting all this sleep, dead skin cell, lash mites, all these things build up in your lash line, you're putting your eyes and your lash line at risk of blocked hair follicles, blepharitis, lash mite infestations, which can eventually lead to hair follicle infections and or eye infections. So if you're very just clear about that with your client from the start and say it is your responsibility to keep them clean, because once you leave here, I can't do any more for you in that area. And if you don't do that, these are the things that can happen. And don't blame me for them when you haven't washed them for 3 weeks and then you have lash mite carcasses building up in your eyes.
And I think that's a really good idea, because you clean your teeth twice a day and you wash your hair when it needs to be washed. And so the routine you have every day, it's just an extension of that. And so for someone that isn't really good at extensions of anything, I do twice a day wash my lashes.
Yeah.
And I feel like it actually feels better when you wash your lashes. It just feels better. They actually feel cleaner, because they do get mine. I'm a bit of a picker. I've had these on for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
2 weeks, and I've used Prolong Lash twice a day. So with the brush, I've done the full routine that you taught me to do. And I find that by the end of the day, when my eyes are getting tired, and then I wash the lashes, they actually feel refreshed. I don't know. It might just
they're
be
not
me.
weighed down with dirt and gunk.
So from a cleanliness point of view, it's obvious. From a hygiene point of view, it's necessity. But from the feel-good point of view, if you're someone like me that finds them a little bit uncomfortable, and I do find lash extensions a little bit uncomfortable, I'm sporty, I'm in swimming pools, I'm a person that's quite active, and I thought that they would come into effect of my life, which they haven't. But I'm constantly aware that they're there. And as I said, I'm a picker. when I clean them at the end of the day, particularly the end of the day, I get a certain amount of relief from it.
Mm.
I feel like it's a relief.
It also helps them to stay looking good. So if they're all clumping together and they look, you can see shit in them. Then people are going to be like, oh, your lashes look interesting, you know? And so they won't feel nice. They'll look crazy. And as a lash artist, that's going to reflect on you as well, because someone will go, oh, I had my lashes done a couple of weeks ago. And the other person would go, where'd you have that done? I'm not going to go there. So that's another really important reason that you have to educate your clients, because they are the walking advertisement for your work. And if you're letting them walk out there without any lash care and their lashes end up looking awful in a couple of weeks, that's a huge problem for you and your reputation.
It is, and it's something that everyone notices, not just a lash artist. People notice your lashes. They really do, and I can't help but be drawn to lashes now that I'm involved in the sector. But I'm not a lash artist, so I can't really tell a good job from a bad job. But what I can tell is a look I like. And like yours look really good today. They look like you've cleaned them, and there's no gaps. And I notice things like that. And I can also tell when people put mascara on, and they do clump, and you can never get the mascara off. You shouldn't wear mascara, should you, Alicia?
No, Jodi is ticking all of her list of things that I told her when she got her lashes done. Look, I think there is a thing with mascara, and classic lashes would be tolerable because mascara really coats a lash, and with your classic lashes, it's just one single lash on one single extension. It will still clump them together a little bit, and it is hard to get mascara off lashes because they're a bit porous. It will take a few rounds of cleansing. So I would say, like, I would tolerate it if you needed to put mascara on classic lashes, but do not put that on Russian volume. Like, you cannot do that. It will just close up the fans.
You just told me do not use it, so I just do not use it.
I just prefer to stick with one rule. It's too confusing when you start making exceptions and going blah-de-blah, but, you know, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the whole world. Got to be more flexible, probably. What other things did you remember that I told you? Let's test our skills.
That even if I'm in salt water, particularly because I swim a lot, to make sure I wash them afterwards, to not leave it as long. Maybe you said if I could get access to wash them after salt water, to wash the salt off them immediately, things like that. I suppose the main thing is the twice a day with a good aftercare product like Prolong Lash, but a good aftercare wash that's got a thick foam so it really gets in and does the work. Don't pick. If I use saunas and sunscreen, keep sunscreen as away. Don't rub oils and don't use anything oily. No mascara. So I think that's about all I can remember.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think so. And so the reasoning behind those points is with the salt water and chlorinated water, just generally, if you're crying or things like that, they can just sort of clump together from the water, and fans can close up and lashes can touch to each other. So it's just ideal to wash them as soon as you can after being in those activities. It won't make them fall out necessarily, but if you want them to stay looking their best and nice and separate, then it's a good idea to wash them straight away after those activities. You don't pick them for obvious reasons, because if you pull out a lash, you can pull out your natural lash with it. Which can cause gaps in the lash line. It can cause some trauma to the hair follicle. I don't know if you remember the 90s days when everyone plucked their eyebrows to a thin little stick and then no one could grow their eyebrows back because those hair follicles got traumatized with that continual plucking, so did stop them from growing back. So you don't want to pull your lashes out sooner than they need to come out. So, lash artists don't just make this stuff up to be annoying and say, don't do this and don't do that. It's just, we want lashes to look their best for as long as possible for both you and for ourselves. We don't want you coming back in 3 weeks with 3 lashes dangling on and saying, hi, can I get a refill? That's not convenient, and that's going to cost you a lot more money and really ruin our schedule for the day. So everybody needs to do this together as a team so that we can all have a world of fabulous lashes.
There you go. There's the spiel. That's it. There's no aftercare. You have to wash your lashes.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Just wash them. Wash them twice daily. It's the most important thing. It's going to keep your eyelashes healthy. It's going to keep your eyes healthy. Everything else you do is kind of whatever, apart from picking. Like, activities that you take part in, it's going to not cause that much of a big difference or a big deal in your life as long as you wash them.
To get that day out of your lashes.
Mm-hmm.
What's that ad? I'm going to wash that grey right out of my hair.
Wash that day right out of your lashes.
No, yeah, exactly. We should make up a song.
Wash that man right out of my hair. Isn't it?
No, wash
You're
that.
washing a man.
Wash that.
Wash that
grey
man right out of... It's man!
Oh.
Because she's getting over her ex.
Oh, okay.
This is good stuff.
So as much as you scared me, you did scare me. You did scare me.
Oh.
But when people ask me about lashes, or we're talking about lashes, or whatever the conversation is about
Are
lashes.
we ever not talking about lashes?
Oh, yeah. We talked about dogs.
True. Yeah.
We talked about
what
cheese.
kind of dog I was.
And what sort of cheese. Do you ever thought about what sort of dog you look like? Or you act like, or your personality? There's a
Yes.
quiz. There's a
Yeah.
quiz. Go and do it. It's a lot of fun.
Do a BuzzFeed quiz. But I care more about what kind of cheese people are, because cheese is delicious and fun to discuss, and it has a lot more,
Variations.
aspects. Yeah.
Well, anyway, going back to what I was saying, that you scared me, but also now whenever I'm talking about it, I say I had the best lash artist do my first lashes, and her education was exceptional. And even if I wasn't in the industry, I think your influence on me has been that's my message to everyone else. I just don't know any different. And that's how your clients should be. They
Yeah.
should not know any different. They
Yeah.
should think that is what you have to do. And I think anytime I have lash extensions, which is not that often, I probably get them 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah.
I just think that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Because that's how I was educated.
Yeah, start with a good base, make sure people know from the start. And, Kerry, our founder, when we were doing lashes in our salon and trying to get people to use Prolong Lash at the start, because people didn't used to wash their lashes back in the day, she always said to us, you have to tell people 3 times. Like, the first time that they come in, you'll say, use your lash cleanser, and it's really important. And they'll go, yeah, okay. And they probably won't. They might use it a couple of times. And the second time you come back and you say, have a look at these photos that I'm taking. So take a before photo when you've done their lashes, take a photo when they come back and they're looking horrible, and say, look at these photos, look at this difference. You need to wash them, it's really important. And then they might kick it up a little bit. And then by the third time they come back and you say, your lashes are just not lasting and they're looking terrible and you really need to fix this, they'll actually start to use it when they believe what you're saying, because the proof is in the pudding. They can see that their lashes are not looking their best like they did the first time you did them.
Yeah. And it's a trusting, it's a bond, it's a relationship you have
Yeah.
with your lash artist. So when someone looks at my lashes, this last weekend I was away, someone commented on my lashes.
At a lash conference.
At a lash conference.
What did they say?
I know, that's the thing. At a lash conference, no, there were a few people that actually said your lashes look lovely. So that also builds trust. But it's a two-way street, because I am cleaning my lashes. I know Alicia did a great job with them,
Yeah.
but I'm following the aftercare process. So, you put your trust, the people put their trust in you as a lash artist. So I put all my trust in Alicia. So when someone else was saying, there was someone else saying something a little bit different than Alicia had said on the weekend at the conference, and I'm like, nope, that is not true. That is just not true. That is not how it works. And that's not true. And I got all my backup and everything. And
What were they
but
saying?
I can't say, because then the person might know who it is. I don't want to be talking about someone. But it was different. And
Tell
look,
me off camera.
everyone has different opinions and everyone has different ways. And that's what we were saying before, lash artists all have different opinions. So it's up to you to earn the trust of your client and try and get the best results out of your services. And by doing that, you need to educate yourself.
Yeah.
You need to know that if someone's lashes aren't coming out for 2 weeks, get feedback from them. If they're coming back to you and their lashes are falling out, ask them why. Ask them, as you said, have you been washing your lashes? Did you do something different in your routine for the last 2 weeks? Are you a picker? Find out. Just don't let them come back in and then you have to just fix it every time.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be a reason.
Yeah.
Some people they just don't fall out.
Yeah. So I just want to say there's like a couple of handy hints that I think that you should tell every client when you're, as a lash artist, when you're finishing up. There's a few things just to touch on. Obviously, your aftercare, washing them twice daily is most important, but things people don't think about, like stay away from excessive heat. So thinking about outdoor heaters, barbecues, fire pits, things like that. Try not to allow your clients to get their faces too close to those because it does singe the lash. So
And it can burn their face too.
well, yeah, let's hope that there's no serious incidents. But, you know, just standing near an outdoor heater, they can get quite hot. So avoid excessive heat. When you are participating in things like swimming, being in a sauna, excessive sweating, just encourage your clients to wash their lashes as soon as they can after they've finished whatever activity that was. Think about the way that they're sleeping. I mean, you don't want to make lashes feel like people have to change their entire lifestyle just to get a beauty service, but just let people know to be mindful when they're sleeping. If you're the type of person that sleeps face down, maybe consider sleeping on your side because that's going to sort of smush the lashes. This is really random, but I sleep with a pillow on top of my face. I know.
Sure, Matthew has got the pillow on top of your face.
Maybe because I'm sorry. He's like, no, I've always done it. Carol experienced it when we were sharing a room last year at LashCon. She's like, what are you doing? But I feel like comforted by the, you know, protection of, and I also need complete darkness and complete silence to fall asleep. So,
but you have 3 children.
I know, that's why I sleep with a pillow on my face because that's the way I can block it all out. Just like, I'm not here. But if I have lashes on, like obviously I can't do that. So that's the type of things that people should be mindful of. So I still do sleep it with on my face, but I sleep on the side. So it's just like on my ear. I know that's my weird thing. So if you're wondering what's Alicia's weird quirk, I sleep with a pillow on my face. Do you have a weird quirk?
Do I have a weird quirk? No, not really. I've watched Grey's Anatomy. I've watched Grey's Anatomy nearly 7 times now from start to finish. Maybe even more. I reckon maybe even more. I think my kids have got me down to even more. I'm watching it again. It's up to 18 at the moment. So that's a bit weird.
You'd say it's a quirk, but I don't think it's weird. I reckon there's heaps of people that have watched Grey's Anatomy that many times.
Headstands, a bit weird. Drinking upside down on headstands.
Yeah, that's just it. That's a skill. That's not weird. Okay, anyway. To what we're telling people about all the important things that they need to do tell their clients to do. Avoid heat. When you're swimming, wash them afterwards. Don't sleep with a pillow on your face. And regular maintenance, that's so important. So make sure that your client is booking their next appointment when they're leaving your salon. Don't let them leave without booking their next appointment because they need to have another refill in 2-3 weeks. Don't let them stretch it out or forget to book because they'll be calling you at 5 weeks with 3 lashes hanging on, begging you for a time and you can't get them in. And, you know, that just doesn't equal a great experience for the customer. So that is really important to drill into them.
And something that was discussed at the conference on the weekend, which I found really interesting, was actually Joy from Lash Joy. Hi, Joy. How you going? She was talking about the time allotted. So you book the person in and you say the refill in 2 to 3 weeks. You have 45 minutes, 55 minutes, whatever it is. What she does, if she says it's a really bad set that's walked back in and she knows there hasn't been aftercare, she takes a photo of that person. She does the client's experience for 45 minutes, literally times it, and says, this is what I can do in 45 minutes. Thank you. See you next time.
She's a smart girl.
And they say, but it's not finished. And she said, well, that's the time that was allocated. So that scares them. She said that scares them. She said then they have to rebook literally in the next couple of days for her to finish that refill. And she said then they start aftercaring.
Yeah.
So that's
it. Fear is power.
Fear is power.
A little bit of fear goes a long way just to make people feel like they're not wasting their money. Like, don't let people waste your time and do what Joy does and make them accountable for the fact that they haven't cared for their lashes. And that is why it's costing them more money and they can't have their set completed in time. Don't be rushing and feeling like you're going to ruin the rest of your schedule for the day because someone's come in with bad lashes because of something that was outside of your control because you didn't look after them. But what I just said, it was outside your control, but it is within your control because you need to educate them.
Yeah, and that she was adamant about it, and she said that she then puts up that price with the client as well.
Good.
Puts the price up so that the client knows that she's serious about it, and that's actually a good thing to talk about is the conferences too with education. Like you're educating your clients every day. You're in community groups. You're talking to other lash artists. So if you've got a conference in your area, it doesn't matter how big or small it is. It doesn't have to be the pinnacle of lash conferences. It just has to be something where there's, more than 40, 50 people in the room that are lash artists. You'll learn so much. You're learning on those days. And as I said, I was there as the MC. I was there as probably a bit of a lunatic, a little bit of fun vibe in the room. But I'm not a lash artist, but I come away with 2 or 3 things from that conference myself that I would put into place if I had a salon.
Mm.
So you keep educating yourself so you can keep educating your clients.
Yeah, agreed. I'm all about education.
Alicia likes going to the conferences to sit there and listen all day.
Mm-hmm. It's my jam. Well, if you have any other questions for us, feel free to leave a comment below in the comment section. And if you have any other tips that we didn't think of that you always like to tell your clients, share them with your fellow lash artists by commenting below, and give us a thumbs up for the video if you enjoyed it. You can always jump onto our socials as well if you're wanting to check out what other stuff we're doing. We've got our Insta, Facebook, and TikTok. And of course, if you want to buy Prolong Lash, jump onto www.prolonglash.com and .au for Australia.
Whew, that made me tired. So thanks for joining us today. It's an interesting topic, but one that there are plenty of ways for you to work around. So have a good listen, read our blog. And keep going. Keep going with push that message about aftercare and retention.
Educate.
Educate. See ya.
Bye.